Mary Beth, welcome to Thyroid Strong Podcast. I'm so excited to have you on. You have such a tremendous transformation that I just think more women need to hear and be inspired by, especially by someone who you give them a plan and they do the do, which is you.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
You have to do the do. You're absolutely correct.
You're a Capricorn, I'm a Capricorn. So I think it's in our astrology DNA.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So give us a little snapshot of life before we met, because there was multiple things going on. Can you paint a picture for us?
Sure. 68 years old. Probably for 20 years, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Probably about a year or so after that, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's. I have some sort of IBS gut issues that go on. I was feeling overwhelmed, tired, just very like lethargic. I felt like I wasn't sleeping well at night. Even though I felt like I slept through the night, I'd wake up every morning and I'd still be very tired. Just couldn't get. I'd still go work out, but sometimes when I was there, it was so hard to work out because I was just drained, exhausted. And then I saw something on, I don't know what, I think it was Instagram. I'm not really sure. And looked to see you had something about having a free masterclass on Hashimoto's. And so I came into your class
Yeah.
and listened to everything that you had to say. And that's really what said, I kind of sat on it for a while and said, well, should I, shouldn't I, shouldn't I, should I? But I decided that the best investment that I could make was in myself. And
Yeah.
so that's what I did.
I love that. And that's so important because I think as women, and you can give us a little background on the work that you did. You're retired now, but you had like very intense work and family. And I think as women, sometimes we're like, we're going to give and give and give. And then we forget to give to ourselves.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was a kindergarten teacher for 23 years, and then I became an intervention person in the building. So I dealt with a kind of as an assistant principal, but because I didn't have that certification, I became this intervention person, dealt with behaviors and families when crisis in my building. Very, very, very exhausting.
Yeah.
And on
Not an
top of
easy
that,
job.
yeah, not at all. And then on top of that, I was divorced with 3 children, and fortunately have met my husband now, who has made my life just a wonderful life. And so I wished, as I said to you many times, I wished I had met you 20 years ago, because the days that I used to wake up and have to go to work and my blood sugars would be 185 and I would just feel beat up. I would feel beat up all the time, exhausted, weak, and fat. I was fat. I was probably at that time 190 pounds, 192 pounds. And I fought every day to maintain that weight because my weight just wanted to go up.
Yeah. Can you just really quickly tell us how much your weight is today?
161 pounds.
And you look amazing.
Oh, thank
Like
you.
radiant.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah, go ahead.
my A1C, I wake up in the morning and like my average blood sugar is like 85.
I just
So
had full body
that's
chills.
amazing.
Yeah. So tell us, because not a lot of women think about Hashimoto's and blood sugar, but can you just give us an insight into what your blood sugar was when you were waking up before we met and the 20 years before, and what that felt like? Because women might not know, but have blood sugar issues.
You feel awful. I mean, you just feel like you're dragging all the time. And when you wake up and it's 185, and that was maybe on the low, that's when I checked it because at that time I wear a CGM right now because it became very important to me to know what my blood sugar was and what I would feel like compared, right? So if I was waking up at 185, I was not eating well. I was probably starving myself more than I was eating, and I was not making protein a priority. I thought I was eating, a vanilla yogurt in the morning, or if I ate salad at lunchtime, but it was not enough. And so my weight, I battled my weight, and yet I felt like I barely ate anything. So when your blood sugar is high, when you wake up, you just feel exhausted, like you really didn't sleep the night before, and it makes you, mm, I guess, a little grouchy.
A little irritable, maybe.
Just a little. And then as it's been coming now, I wake up in the morning and I just feel like $1 million because when I wake up in the morning, I know what my blood sugars are. I can tell all night, I can see. And my line, it flat lines, which is what we want, right? I never go over 150. And that's if I go up to 150, it's because I've eaten a little bit too much carb, but then I'll go out and walk and my blood sugar drops right back down. Not an issue. But the mornings I wake up and I feel great. I mean, I just feel like I want to get up. I want to go walk. I go work out. I mean, I have a regimen that I stick to, and that's what I do. It's for me, right? It makes me feel better.
And I really want to emphasize the point that you weren't feeling good, but you were doing things to try and feel better. You weren't just like, I don't feel good. I'm not going to work. Like you were very proactive,
Oh, very.
but yeah. So you were working out, Pilates, Eldoa, right? Getting your steps. You were eating protein, but it wasn't enough. So it's not like you weren't doing anything. You just needed to be doing the right things with the right dose, with the right strategy. Because I
With
think that's
the right
important
with the right coach.
with the right coach. I also want to also share that you were using tools like GLP-1s to try and help regulate that blood sugar, right?
Oh, yes,
Yeah. And they were effective to a point, but we
correct.
needed a little more, right?
Yeah, yes. Because I was doing GLP-1s, but I was also doing 2 other medications at the same time. I was doing Metformin, which was terrible for my stomach for a person who has IBS, and I was also doing Jardiance. It didn't matter. I mean, my A1Cs might come in at like 6.5, which for a type 2 diabetic, anything under 7, your doctor says, "Oh, that's amazing." You know what? It doesn't feel amazing.
No.
So now when I have my A1C done, my last one was a 5.3. So 5.3 is like, I take still just one. I take a GLP-1 and that's all I take, and it manages my diabetes. The metformin is gone, the Jardiance is gone, and I am managing, and my A1C is coming in at 5.3, which is technically in the normal range, but I take medication to get in that normal range. So I'm not in remission. It's not like diabetes has gone into remission, but it's certainly really under control.
And 5.3, so functional optimal range is 4.5 to 5.5. So you're like in functional optimal range. Yes, you have a tool to help you, but you also are doing the basics, which some people may not know, right? So we're lifting weights, you're getting steps after you're eating,
Absolutely.
up the protein.
Tremendously. I still focus mostly on protein. I do eat obviously carbs and fats, but protein is my main focus every day. And then I'll add vegetables. We just went on a cruise. And so every morning I was having avocado and eggs and whatever meat they had. Cause, on cruises, they'll have different things. But for lunch every day, they have grilled chicken and grilled vegetables. And that's what I ate. Now, dinner time, I would eat what they would offer, but I would always say, no gravy on that. How much butter in this? The guy was like, oh my God. So every day he was like, I can get you steamed broccoli. Bring me my steamed broccoli. So you can do anything you want to do. You just got to tell people what you need.
Tell me, because we did deal with some gut issues and we did do a very specific parasite test. We don't know where you picked it up, but I know you had this one incident at a national park where you drank, it was like the water out of the spigot.
Well, they have water filling stations,
Oh, water
where
filling
where
station.
you put your bottle,
Yeah.
because you drink a lot because you're in a higher altitude. I know you live in a higher altitude, but I don't. I live on sea level. So going into higher altitudes because of my age, they said you should really drink more. And so I was going through water and I was that everybody else is doing it. I'm like, okay, well, I should be able to do this. Oh no, 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 no. I think I picked up a bacteria.
Remind me what national park you were at.
It was Bryce.
Oh, Bryce. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And so I think some of the things that we like, yes, build the basics, strength training, steps, protein. But then also let's dive deeper and peel away the layers of the onion of, okay, here's someone with gut issues. Because I remember when we first talked, you're like, it's hard to get protein in. And I think you had worked with someone before that had recommended certain proteins. And you're like, I don't like fish. Like, I don't want to eat fish. And so I think part of being able to get more protein in was addressing the gut stuff so that you could break down the protein, you could absorb like you could absorb what was all the nutrients and the vitamins from the protein that you were eating and increasing your uptake. There were some parts of when we were working together that was like uncomfortable, right? So taking anti-parasitic meds kind of suck. Sometimes women assume, okay, we found the root cause, we're going to address it and everything's going to be better. And it will be better. But sometimes through the process, it kind of sucks. It was also some candida, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So for someone who I think has a very strong growth mindset, which is you,
Mhm.
how do you, when things get tough or when things feel a little, oh, I feel a little nauseous, I don't feel that great, but I know I still have to get my workout in. Like, how do you navigate that?
It's really just a mindset, and I think you have to understand that everything is just for a short time. Time heals everything. I mean, that's truly what I believe. You lose people in your life, and those first 2 weeks are really difficult, but time heals. So you have to just get through those time and then move on to the next. And even taking I don't even know the name of the medication, so I can't even tell you. But man, they're brutal. The one is really brutal. But if you get past it, you're going to be on the road to healing and not suffer with the taste of metal in your mouth, you know?
I think that was the anti-parasitic meds.
So, yes.
Talk to me about, because sometimes people who bring in strength training or have never done it before and are new to it, they're kind of like, I'm like a little nervous, especially when I'm like, Mary Beth, let's up that deadlift. And you're like, all right, I have this bar. I'm like, perfect. Let's use that from a mindset perspective. Or maybe it was just like, okay, I'm just going to trust the process, Emily. Was there anything that went through your head or that you had to navigate as I'm like, all right, up the weights?
Well, I was trusting the fact that you've done this before. I don't think that we realize how strong we are. I'm deadlifting about 125 to one day 130, but it was just one lift, just one. It was hard. Went back to 125 right now is kind of my sweet point, and we'll see once I get home, I'll progress further on that. I have to buy more plates, by the way. I think that I was trusting the fact that you kept saying to me, "You can do more. You can do more." And so I was listening to that and just knowing my own strength. I do have back issues, and I really was worried, especially with deadlifts, that I thought, but when you learn how to lift correctly, you're realizing that you're really not optimizing and hurting your back. You're really optimizing other muscles in your body. So it's learning correct form. And that was one of the things you were really great at.
Yeah.
I studied the little things that you sensed.
Yeah. And we built in a process. So, for example, if you had a question, I'd be like, Mary Beth, record a video of you, send it to me, and we'll check your form. And
Correct.
it's like, so we can get, a second set of eyes. And so, yeah, definitely having a process and being like, okay, I'm going to trust the process. And I know that if I need more, I can send a video, I can get feedback on my own form, kind of like you're held. Yeah.
For sure, and you did that, and that was great, and so that made me feel more comfortable, sending the deadlift and you saying to me, "Pack your shoulders more."
Mm,
Okay, and then you're in your head, "Okay, what does packing my shoulders mean?" And then I just kept doing it and thinking about it, and really, and now I think that's the only thing I know. I get into my stance and I know, pack those shoulders, holding those little pieces of paper under your armpit, right? And then yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
then lifting from there, because then you're not using your you're using your legs and you're using your abs, and so it works. It works.
Yeah. Tell me the story, the listeners will love this, about, like, one of your friends saw you, and she was like, "Oh my god."
"Hey, what are you doing?" And she says to and it was great because at the time, my pants I was wearing is down to a size 12. And I was wearing some, mostly large tops because I'm a bigger girl. I'm not whatever. And she was just like, "Oh my God, like, what do you wear? Like a size 8 or a size 10 right now?" And in my head, I'm sort of chuckling because I'm like, no, I didn't say that to her. I was like, no, I'm just, comfortable in where I am, because I think what happens is when you have more muscle, you're more toned. And when you're more toned, you look thinner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because even
Yeah.
in my head at the time, I'm thinking, "Oh my god, I weigh 166 pounds. What is she talking about?" Yeah. So, compared to 190 something, it's a huge difference. But, you have to get my mind has to see my body differently than it does.
Yeah. So, like, the number on the scale is just a number. We also go by how are your clothes fitting, right? And we know that the more muscle you have, the better things look and burn more calories at rest. And I think women get
Right.
really stuck on the number. And I'm like, if your clothes fit amazing, does the number really matter that much?
Number doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether I weigh 166 or 161. I still feel like when I put clothes on, I'm like, oh my God, look at this. Like I went and bought a little dress. It was a size medium. And I was like, oh, this will never fit me. I put it on. I was like, oh, it looks so cute. So it has nothing to do with that
Yeah.
number on the scale. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of women, and I would even say women in their 40s, are like, I'm too old to lose weight,
Yeah.
or I've hit an age where I can't lose weight. And so, like, what would you tell that woman? Because you are a living, breathing, walking example of someone who you're 69 now.
I am.
Yes. Um, and you went from 190. And when we first met each other, I think you were around like 175 ish.
Correct.
And now you're 161. And you're not doing it by crash dieting and by just cutting calories, because then you would lose muscle. You're doing it in a really sustainable, smart way. So, like, what would you tell the woman that's like, "Oh, like, that I'm past the age of where I'm not in my 20s or 30s anymore." What would you tell that woman?
Oh, yeah, in your 40s, I feel like you're still in your prime, and, this is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. Take
Yeah.
control, because when you hit that perimenopause, menopause, your body changes, but you need to change with your body and eat more, lift more, walk more. You need to move. You have to do that for yourself. And I think also, we also worked on supplements with each other, right? So you helped me from my blood work saying, here are the areas that you need a little help. Here's what you should be doing. Certainly that makes me feel way better. I feel, that with liver issues, digestive enzymes, those kind of things. Absolutely. And they have to start. I wished I had started in my 40s. If I had started in my 40s, I'd be in a way different place, but I'm not giving up what I have.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
You've
What
had
about,
this, like, tremendous transformation, right? And
I,
sometimes
yep.
people have their eye on, like, "This is what I wanted to get to." What's, like, the next goalpost for
For
yourself?
me. Well, you changed my mindset on the weight thing. So my goal was always to get to 153. And then the last time that we spoke, and I think at the time I had gotten to maybe 163, 164, somewhere in there. And you said to me, listen, look at your body and say, you might not ever get to 153, but that doesn't mean you're not in your optimal position for you. You know what I mean? So that changed my mindset of not beating myself up because I'm not at that weight. I'm at a good weight. Would I like to break that 160? Yes, but that's just a mind game for me. It has nothing to do with my body because those 2 pounds are not going to make a difference to my body. But it's and that's the thing that you changed my mindset about, is that I had to start thinking that I don't need to get to that number to think I'm okay. I'm okay right where I am. You got to work at it. You just have to work at it and get into a routine. I'm here with my sister-in-law. I got her to exercise with me one day. And she says to me, "I don't know how you fit it in." I go, "No, what you don't understand is my exercise is first, and I fit everything else in around it." And you have to do that. You have to be committed. You have to. And after you start feeling better and you start doing it, it becomes your lifestyle. It just becomes my lifestyle. And even my husband says, "I know Wednesdays. Okay, we'll go out about 11:30." Yep, because he knows that that's one of my days that I do my thing.
Yeah. What do you think cultivated this mindset? Because not everyone has this mindset. I wish everyone did. Was there something from how you were raised or like parent, or maybe you just came out this way? But were there certain things that where you're just like, okay, this is a plan. I'm going to execute on it. I'm feeling better. I want to keep feeling better. Because I think it's almost rare to have this kind of mindset. And I would love for more women to cultivate it, to be like, I need to take care of myself. I am a non-negotiable. But I'm so curious, is there anything that you see over your lifetime that's like, oh, this is where this really robust, resilient growth mindset came from?
I think that my parents raised me to be pretty independent. They were not people that I could call them and tell them all the problems in the world. No, it was like if you did something, you have to handle it yourself. Which that was just what they instilled in us, to be independent. They had 4 daughters, so all of us were to be independent, not having to rely on someone else.
Mm.
Um, but I really think that I've always wanted to be fit. Um, it was always important to me. I was a basketball player in college, in high school and college. I played basketball all 4 years. Um, and then, you get married and you have children, and I think you lose it because as you said in the beginning, you're giving everything to everybody else. You want your house to be clean, your laundry to be done, la 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 la. And all I found myself, for me, I was working full time, 3 children, and all I found myself was getting lost in what I needed to do for everybody else, right? And then I got lost and I always exercised, always, Emily. I always went and I did the workouts I'd follow a circuit training at the BOPEs. I'd go, I did crunch fitness. I mean, I did it all, and I always exercised, but I just, I just lost myself. And I think when I finally realized at some point that this is me and this is my mortality, this is about me. This is my gift to myself because guess what? Bodies are amazing. It's amazing how your body will take care of you. So now I need to take care of it. And I think that's what changed my mindset is that I just kind of woke up one day and said, "What the hell are you doing? Just do what you have to do because I want to see some grandchildren.
Yeah.
Right? I want to get on and off the floor with them. I want to run with them. So it's taking care, it's just making that decision. Take care of yourself. Because guess what? If you're not well, no one else around you is going to be well either.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the first things is that I eat more now than I have ever eaten. And I think that's really important because I think we tend to starve ourselves. We tend to think that the way we're going to lose weight is not to eat. And now I'm telling you, I eat more than I've ever eaten in my life. And I'm not afraid to eat. I'm not afraid if I'm at somebody's house to have a little pasta. I'm not afraid to have a slice of bread if I want that because I know that my body can handle it because of what I do. And I think that's, as women, we tend to starve ourselves. I can't have that. Oh, no bread. No, I'm not eating bread. No carbs. You have to have carbs. My body has to have carbs. It makes me feel better. I sleep better.
Mm. Yeah.
So I think that was really important. What's one of, I eat more, but I still lost the weight.
Yeah. And I think probably from some years of maybe under eating and then also not eating enough protein, every calorie that came in, your body was like, I'm going to hold on to this for dear life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And now that you're fueling yourself, but you're also taking that fuel and putting it towards building muscle, your body's like this like metabolic engine, fat burning machine. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a little energizer bunny. I think the other thing is that I track my food and then I don't track my food because listen, you can't live by tracking your food. It's not a reality.
True.
However, um, I will start tracking my food again.
Mm.
I just want to make sure because I kind of have a mind's eye of what the amount of protein that I need to eat, right? I
Yeah.
have that. But then I want to make sure that I do it. So when I go home, when I have a scale available to me, I'm away right now. I will start weighing and measuring again to put myself back into that track of what it is that I need to look for and look at to have what it is that I need for my body. So eating 150 grams of protein in a day is easy to do. I just want to make sure that what I've been doing and what I see is exactly matching what I'm doing.
Yeah. I love that. And anytime, and this is not your case, but sometimes when women plateau, I'm like, let's just track for a week. Let's just get it like a thumb on the pulse. Going back to 150 grams of protein, we did not start there. I wasn't like,
Oh, no.
no, you had to work your way there, right? Can
Yes.
you share your process? Because I think sometimes women feel overwhelmed or they're like, how am I going to get this protein all in? And it's like titrating up. It's like little by little so that your digestion can handle it. You can break it down. But I was wondering how you kind of went through that process as a client.
Well, I don't remember where we started out, maybe around 90 grams, because I thought I was eating a lot of protein and I was not eating a lot of protein. But what I found is that I needed to look further and find other things besides just animal meat that can give you protein as well. And so I started investigating different areas of where I would find protein and other things like edamame, those kind of things, and incorporating that into what I ate. And then when you would bump my protein up, there are plenty of times that I did not hit it. Because it was part of, oh God, can I eat this? Oh God, do I need to eat this? It's like, but it becomes second nature when you start to really bring that food into your system and that amount of protein. And I think I was really afraid of it. To get up to 150 grams is a lot of protein, but it's not if you're dividing it by easily 3 meals and then 2 snacks in between. You gave me like like the protein mix bars, the Pro Mix, I think it's called. Yeah, and I like them. There are only certain flavors I like, but they're 15 grams of protein. So it's something that I can always carry with me because I do not like to get hungry and I do not like to miss a meal. But sometimes you're out, you're doing something, and all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, like I'm starving. And that's something that I just grab because I know it's 15 grams of protein. I know it's healthy. So I think that it's completely doable. I think that you just have to have the decision that you're going to do it. And listen, I read a lot of nutrition labels and that helps me, and I watch a lot of stuff. I try to, investigate. I read a lot of things. And I think at my house, I just got delivered. You had recommended a book, and I can't remember what the book is that you remember because it wasn't published at the time. It was, do you know who I'm talking about?
It was this book. It's my functional medicine doc. It's the Forever Strong Playbook, probably. This
That's the
one?
one, that's the one. So it just got delivered to my house, but I'm not there to get it. So, some more information on just some, more, things to cook, things to eat, the quantity, those kind of things, and just general information on reading. So, like, I do a lot of that. I try to research a lot of that, and I spend my time reading it. That's what I like.
Yeah.
So
And I think some of my best clients are have that quality, like, they're curious, they're always learning, they're researching. Sometimes that researching process can become overwhelming, but I think is if you move through with, like, emotional neutrality, you're just like, "Okay, I'm just getting information in," but I think for my clients who are the most successful, that is a quality of their personality. Let's say a woman, because there's a lot of women in my ecosystem who are like, "I want to work with Emily, but I'm not sure." And we've shared so much of your process, but is there anything that you would share? Because you have worked, like I wasn't your
no,
first person.
no.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would share for someone who's maybe like on the fence or hesitant or that was maybe unique to your process?
I think it was your communication that which helped a lot. It was learning how to use your apps, which took me, listen, I'm 69. It's sometimes it takes me like a day or two, to figure it out, but learning how to use it and how to utilize it to my strength and certainly your personality. That certainly helps a lot, right? Because you're not like someone who's like putting the hammer down and says, "Well, what do you mean you didn't need 150 grams of protein?" It's like, and you kind of would just be like, "Listen, I know this is hard, but you got to 123 on this day, and this day. This day was only 115. Where are we going to fit in that 150?" It's like you just move through the cycle. It wasn't like, oh, you didn't do this. It wasn't like you were condemning me. Certainly, this is my decision, my body, but you were just helpful. And when I said to you, God, I just don't know what to, sometimes you just don't know what to eat, right? And you would say, one of the things you said to me was, how about steak? And I said to you, I love steak. And you said, yeah, and you can eat it. And I was like, oh, little bells went off. And I said, oh my God, like, yes. And I probably eat beef at least twice a week, if not more, because I love it. I don't like fish, although I
Oh,
did
like
eat
it.
I don't like it, but I did eat it yesterday. I did because there was nothing. We went out to lunch yesterday. There was nothing on that menu that I could eat.
Mm.
except for the mahi mahi, the grilled mahi mahi. And that's what I ate. And it was okay. It wasn't terrible.
I think there was one moment in one of our calls where you're like, "I cannot eat any more chicken sausage for
Right.
breakfast."
Yeah, chicken sausage and eggs really gets you after a while,
Yeah.
it's like because it's repeat. And I'm a good person at repeating my meals, but then
Yeah.
after a while you're like, "Okay, now I need to change." It's so you have to kind of bend and sway, but it's not like you ever came down and said, "No," it was like, "Okay, well, you ate that." And listen, and if I was off plan for a day because I went to a wedding or something, and this is life.
Yeah.
Life happens, and
Yeah.
we have to go with what life has to do with us. But as soon as that would happen, or if we went away for a weekend, soon as I couldn't wait to get back on Monday because I needed to get back on track.
Yeah. You have had such a tremendous transformation, and you're such a go-getter. Just like I gave you the plan and walked you through it over the 6 months, and you executed on it. You just did it, and it's like the plan works if you do it.
Oh,
Uh,
good point.
yeah. Um, is there anything, like, last thoughts you wanna share with the listener, before we go?
Listen, this is all about you, right? This is about me. This is about what I needed in my life because this is what made me feel better. And if you feel better, you live life better. And if you live your life better, you're lifting better. If you're lifting better, it's like this cycle. It's like the cycle that just keeps going around. And that's the truth. So if you're going to invest in anything, you invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you feel good, all the people you love will feel better too, and they're all around you, right? So you have to feel good. You can't even there's no monetary anything that you can put on feeling good.
Yeah.
Feeling good, yeah, it's it. That's it because you if you have your health, you have everything. And ask people who are not well because they'll say to you, "If only I had my health."
Mm,
Well, here's your opportunity. Get your health.
I love it. Thank you so much for being an amazing client, and then B, for sharing your story, and, you're so clear, and, like, it's your vision for yourself is, like, so clear. It's, like, crystal clear, and so I'm just so grateful to share your story with the audience because navigating this process can feel like a grind. It can feel hard. But, like, if you're really clear on your why and your vision, it cuts through all of the things that feel hard and grindy.
I I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, and it's good. It's really good. So, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks.